My dear sisters and brothers, we are a loving family
亲爱的姐妹弟兄们，我们是一个爱的家庭，
and we feel very much really heart to heart near to each other.
我们心好像在一起一样。
No doubt this heart feeling is very important, but physical nearness is also very much helping us.
没错，心灵的接近是很重要的，但我们的肉体的接近也是很重要的。
And physical nearness is only for development of the nearness at our hearts.
身体的接触只是会帮助我们心灵的接触，
Because physical bodies cannot be together always.
因为身体的接触不可能是永远的。
But if our hearts are only located in our bodies, then hearts are also taken away and we feel really great separation and pangs of separation we suffer.
好像在我们心在我们身体里面，当我们身体跟别人脱离接触以后，我们的心也是脱离这个接触，但是我们觉得分离的痛苦。
Is there any possibility that even the bodies may be separated, but we may still be with each other and we may not have to suffer the pangs of separation?
有没有那个我们身体脱离这种接触，但我们的心还在接触中的这种可能呢？
But this is the case with those persons whom we have got loving relations.
这是跟我们有爱的关系的人才能有这种关系。
But there are so many people in this world with which we have got no heart feeling and no love.
在这世界上，我们跟很多人没有爱的关系。
And there might be some people to whom we are little hard to each other. We say enemies or something differences.
好像很多人我们有意见不同的，我们可以称为他们敌人呢。
And we very well feel in our hearts that if there is some hard feeling among each other, there is some difficulty to us.
我们感觉到，当我们有意见不同，我们的心里面想的跟他不同的时候，我们之间好像有一点仇恨的感觉。
That is why we try to go away from those persons whom we have got no loving relation, because we do not feel good.
因为我们感觉到不爽，所以我想离他更远更好。
And we very much feel comfortable, peaceful among our relations or friendships where we have got nearness at the hearts.
当我们接触我们的家人和我们的朋友的时候，心里我们内心有一种友谊的感觉的时候，我们感觉很愉快。
And it is also a hindrance that all people are not friendly to us, and therefore we cannot enjoy with everyone at every place at all times.
好像我们不可能说跟每一个人做朋友，所以我们不能说在每一个人的接近每一个人的时候，我们感觉到很高兴。
And it will be so wonderful that anywhere we go, we are having loving relations. Everybody loves us, and we feel also love to everybody.
如果我们到处有人爱我们，我们也爱每一个人的时候，那是很美好的感觉。
And there's no one who is stranger to us, or no one who is having anything hard for us, or we have hard for somebody.
如果我们跟别人没有仇恨的那种感觉，而且没有人可以称为是陌生人的那种地步。
This is really the condition which we need and which we can enjoy.
那个是我们所需要的那一种情况，那时候我们才能欣赏这种情况。
And now it is a consideration if this possible.
那时候我们现在要考虑说，现在这个可不可行？
Generally in this world we find that it is not possible.
大部分来说，在这世界上是不可能的这种事。
In our own families, maybe 2, 3 or 5 members of the family, we have also got some differences and sometimes fights and quarrels.
在我们家人之间，有的时候我们都有摩擦。
We feel like loving somebody and keeping that person in connection, but that person rejects us and goes away from us, and we are left just crying.
有的时候我们爱一个人，先想接近他，但那个人不爱你，而离开你，那时候你就觉得很寂寞，很想哭的样子。
And sometimes the other person likes us very much and we do not like, and we reject that person and that person is left crying.
有的时候是别人爱我们，但我们不爱他，我们要离开他，那时候他会受到害。
What is this reason that even in our own family relations, loving relations, the love is not permanently there?
但是我们家人之间那种爱不是永恒的，这是什么理由呢？
This is the main difficulty which the man is to encounter, and if man has been able to solve this problem, then really he has solved the problem of the life.
如果人能解决这个问题的话，那他就能解决生命上的任何一个问题。
And this is due to the weakness of the love which we have got inside us, with us.
这就是因为我们的爱的脆弱所产生的问题。
It is a general understanding that if I am strong, I can hold a person, that person cannot move.
如果我是很大力的话，我把那个人抓住，那个人脱离不了我的掌，那是常识。
Your child wants to move somewhere outside, but you hold the child, you control him, and the child is controlled.
如果你的小孩想跑到外面去，那你抓住他不让他走，那时候你是控制了他，那他也走不了。
This is also our case, that our love, our hearts are so weak that we cannot be enemy of anybody and we cannot be also lover of anybody.
好像是我们的内心也是这么脆弱，我们也不能成为任何人的敌人，也不能成为真正任何人的朋友。
Because we are physically very weak and we are in our hearts also very weak.
我们的身体也很脆弱，我们的内心也很弱。
Some little hard phase in talks between loving relation disturbs us and we lose love for each other.
但是如果两个人关系很好的，但你出了一点摩擦的话，那时候我们就有点感觉好像要离开那种接近的那种感觉。
Sometimes you would have found that two friends are or two family members are sitting together and they are eating or they are talking together.
好像你有的时候看到两个家人坐在一起，在那边吃饭，一起聊天。
And they are going on in a very loving atmosphere.
好有一个很好的关系存在。
But suddenly some topic is coming up and there are some differences in our opinions.
但如果谈到一些某些题目的时候，好像有一点意见不对的时候。
And then each one of us feels like to overcome the other one's opinions or thoughts.
那时候你就想超越另外一个人的那种意见，他的思想。
And this becomes a question of prestige.
那时候是为了自尊的那种问题。
Really, we can say it our mental ego.
那就是说，我们在内的那种自我的感觉。
That each one of us wants to be winner and other one should subdue.
因为感觉上说，每一个人都自己应该赢的，其他人要听你的。
And then at once there are problems and there is anger and we are very much hating each other and then separate from each other.
那时候开始产生一些问题啊，会一点生气啊，那时候就开始有点分离的那种。
But you see, anything which happens in this world, there is something basic understanding with which it can be controlled.
在世间发生的任何问题，其实有一些基本的东西可以控制的。
Now all such like situations in which we are fighting, have differences or some differences of opinions or some kind of confusions, all can be overcome.
好，那跟其他人有点斗争啊，意见不同的这些问题，其实每一个人可以被解决的。
And it is possible that we may develop so much loving attitude in us and so much strong we are in our love that we will be able to love everybody.
我们可以使我们的内心成长，就是我们有一点爱，那个很强的爱存在，那时候我们可以爱任何人。
Because naturally, if there is a fragrant flower, there may be dirt by the side, but that fragrant flower has only fragrance and it will give fragrance continuously to that dirt.
好像有一个花很香，但花的旁边有泥土， 不管怎么样，但它花的香味还是一直存在的。
Although that heap of dirt will continuously go on giving bad odor to the flower.
虽然那个泥土会产生一点不好的味道给那个花。
With this very, very continuous bad odor from that heap of dirt, the flower will still go on giving fragrance to that heap of dirt.
虽然那个泥土产生一点不同不好的那种很臭的味道，向花那边吹，但花的那个香味还是一直流出来的。
Because no doubt the dirt has its own permanent way of working to give bad odor, but flower has also its own great style of life that it has to give fragrance only to everybody.
好像泥土的那种力量就是产生一点臭味，但那个花的力量也是永恒的，它也是只是产生香味而已。
The man is having these both the stores.
人好像只有这两种的力量。
That he can be stock of all dirt and filth and all vice.
一个人可能是完全是肮脏，里面只是很多犯了很多罪，一些不好的事都产生在他身上。
And we may create havocs and problems and worries and sufferings for ourselves and for all others.
我们为别人也为自己创造了一些不愉快的事。
As there had been examples in this world,
好像这世界上都很多这种例子。
that sometimes back in the Second World War, there was one person, Hitler.
好像在第二次世界大战的希特拉一样。
He was the cause of killing of about, I think, more than 6 million people of his own populace.
他把他自己国家里面的杀了差不多600万的那种国民。
And he was also the cause of creation of the Second World War, which spread all over the world, and all the population of the world was in problems and troubles and sufferings for 6 long years.
他使全世界人在6年之间在那边痛苦。
And then in the end, when he was defeated, then some of his companions and he himself had committed suicide.
当那个战争结束以后，他跟他几个朋友在那边自杀。
That such a horrible person creates all horrible situation for himself and also all around as best as possible.
这种人不但为自己，而为了全世界人产生很多的困扰、很多的问题、很多痛苦。
This was a special example because that person has accumulated fully, or we may say to very great extent, the negative power in his own self.
这个是很特别的例子，因为这个人他已经附加了很多的那种邪恶力。
And therefore he could do very, very great negative, destructive action in this world.
所以他在这个世界上能做出对这世界很大的那种破坏力量。
And there had also been people who are very wonderful, all these which are called masters and saints.
但好像也是很多人是很美好、很完美的那种人，像一些大师啊，像佛啊、主耶稣啊这种人。
As Lord Christ was there, he had also preached the law of love and forgiveness.
好像耶稣在世的时候，也在传同情心、爱心。
And Lord Buddha also gave the same kind of love, law of love and service.
好像佛在世的时候，他一直在传对其他人要有服务、有爱心。
And in the history of India, that when there was a very cruel king, his name was Ashoka. He was initiated by Lord Buddha, then he had to change his lifestyle.
好像在印度历史的一个叫阿修卡皇帝，他本来是一个很可怕的人，但他受了那个佛的那种传法以后，他变成一个很好的人，放弃了一切。
Before contact with Lord Buddha, he was very cruel and he had fought such like wars in which there was bloodshed of hundred thousands of the people.
他跟佛接触之前，他是一个很可怕的人，他有He started many wars.
Before getting connection with Buddha.
他已经打过很多仗，是上百万人得到很多痛苦。
But after having been initiated by Buddha, then for whole of the life he did not think of any war.
当他受了那佛的接触以后，到他临死之前都没有再去战争过。
So he was living peacefully, and all his populace and all his neighboring countries were also all in peace.
因为他过一个和平的生活，使他的国民跟他的邻国也过一个很好的生活。
We are also having the same kind of both qualities.
我们也有这两种力量在我们身上。
Sometimes we are also very angry, very much offensive, very much disturbing.
有的时候我们觉得自己很坏，好像一直在生气啊，要破坏别人一样。
And sometimes we are very much loving and serving and humble and to be good.
有的时候我们很谦让，我们很好，也很喜欢帮别人做事。
But generally, from the general atmosphere of this world, the people lose goodness and virtues and humility.
一般在世的环境会使我们缺少一些好处，而且我们会增加一些我们所做坏的事。
And are slowly going towards the cruelty or hatred or selfish motives.
我们会向那个自私的一些邪恶的那种力量往那边走。
Now, if we are to live in this world, we are to live with that living factor with which we can all live peacefully.
如果我们要在世界上生存的话，我们必须要和平的方式生存。
And that if we learn, then we have learned everything.
如果我们能学到这一点的话，那我们就学到任何东西。
In Asian history, near India, there was a country, there is a general understanding in that country.
在印度历史里面，在亚洲的历史，在印度的附近有个国家，在国家里面已经有一个很好的协调。
That if somebody has killed my father, then that the soul of my father will not take peace if I have not killed that killer of my father.
如果一个人杀了我的父亲，我的父亲的灵魂一直不会得到安宁，至少我要杀掉那杀我父亲那个人。
And if I give peace to the soul of my father by killing that person who has killed my father, then the son of that person will kill me, so that the soul of his father may take peace.
那如果我帮我父亲报仇，把那个人杀掉以后，那个人的儿子为了帮他的父亲得到父亲的灵魂得到一点安宁的话，也要把我杀掉。
Then my son will come up also to kill that person.
那我的儿子也会起来，也杀掉那个人。
In this way, regular chain of killing will continue.
这句话变成一种连续下去的。
This was an example that there was such like boy when he grew up, then he was told by his mother that you are to give peace to the killer of his father, to the soul of his father.
这是一个小孩，好像他长大以后，他母亲就告诉他，为了给你父亲的灵魂安宁的话，你要把某某人来杀掉。
So he set out on the journey to find that person who has killed his father.
所以他就出去外面去找那个杀他父亲的人。
And he reached that city and was searching for that person, but for whole of the day he could not find.
所以他走到一个城市里面，找到整天都找不到那个人。
And in the evening, then he was asking some people that he may be able to stay somewhere.
那时候他就问人说，看有没有地方他可以过夜的。
Because in those days people were generally hospitable and they used to accommodate the strangers, travelers.
那时候一般人都有很好的对陌生人很好的态度。如果你们要过夜的话，去找他们，他们应该很会帮助你们。
Then somebody told that there is in the vicinity a very, very hospitable person, and he really will welcome you and will serve you.
那时候就有人告诉他说，这父亲是一个很好的人，你可以到他那边，他一定会接受你，让你过夜。
That boy did go to that person, and that person was really very loving and hospitable, and he greeted that stranger boy like a best friend or best relative.
那时候他找到他的时候，那个人真的是很好对待他，好像对待他最好的朋友一样，他的亲人一样。
And served him, and we are talking very lovingly for a long time in the night even.
好像在那边对他很好的服侍，而且他们在晚上在那边聊天。
And that boy could feel very much peaceful and very much loved by him.
那个人感觉好像那个人很爱他，好像有点很安宁的那种感觉。
In the morning, however, after having the breakfast, then that boy was to leave.
但早上吃了早餐，那个小孩要离开了。
Now that host, that man asked the boy that you have spent the night with me, now you are going somewhere. Please let me know if I can be of any use in your any work which you are here for.
那个主人就跟他讲说：“你现在过了1个月，那你现在要出去了，请问一下你到哪里我可以帮你上你的忙。”
And that boy then felt that this man is very much believable and trustworthy, and that if I tell him the purpose of my coming over here, perhaps he will help me also.
那个人就觉得说，如果告诉这个主人，那这个主人好像很可以信赖的人，如果告诉他的说，他要找他的目标的话，他一定肯帮助他。
Because that person has won the heart of that boy, all that boy could trust that person.
因为那个主人把那个男孩的心已经引过来了。
Then he told whole the story that he has come to kill that person who has killed his father.
他就告诉他说，他来的目的是为了找杀他的父亲的杀手。
Now, as per chance, that person was the same one who had killed his father.
那刚刚碰巧的就是那个人就是杀他父亲的人。
And that man was feeling that this boy has come for the purpose to kill me.
那时候那个主人就感觉到了，说他来的目的就是要杀他。
And then he was very happy and told the boy that, my dear boy, all this purpose for which you have come, that will be fulfilled.
现在就那个主人告诉他说，你来的目的已经可以达到了。
And I will also feel blessed that I have really worked as a good host, and that I am of real service to you.
那时他就说，因为我当了一个很好的主人，我帮你服侍，也会得到神的保佑。
Because it is my duty to help you, so I am the killer of your father. And he just sat down with his neck down before that boy, that now please let me do my duty, and also you do your own duty, and both we will be satisfied with our own duties.
那个主人就说，你来了，do his duty.
That my duty is to help you to in your work.
那个主人就说，我的责任是帮你达到你的目标，所以你已经达到你的目标了。他就跪下来说，你可以完成你的希望。
Because I am to work as a good host.
因为我要当一个好的主人。
And your duty is to give peace to the soul of your father, and you are to kill me.
你的责任是给你父亲的灵魂安宁，所以你要杀了我。
Now this boy was that in a great fix what to do.
那个男孩子感觉到好像现在不知道该怎么做。
On one side he was to kill him so that his father may find, the soul of his father may find peace.
第一个他就因为他要杀了这个主人，因为这样的话他的父亲的灵魂才能得到安宁。
But on the other hand, he was killing humanity, all love, all hospitality, all what is principle.
那这样的话，他会杀掉一些有爱心的人，一般说一个很谦让的人。
And that he was an ideal person he could find, and that he was destroying all this wonderful man of wonderful qualities.
但这样的话，就是说世界上一种很美好的人，但他要杀了这个人。
And then he threw down his sword and fell on the feet of that person, that I have killed you, and the soul of my father has taken rest.
那他把他的剑丢下，向他那个人前面跪下来说：“我已经把你杀掉了，那我父亲的灵魂已经得到安宁了。”
Rather, you have killed me.
他说：“那怎么说？应该是说算你杀了我。”
Because your goodness, your humility, your service, your devotion is so wonderful, so great, that all that negativity and the thought of killing which was there in my heart and mind has all been washed away.
他说：“因为在你的内心的爱，一些贡献的那种力量，已经使我在心的那种邪恶力，好像要杀人那种邪恶力已经离开了。”
And from today I will also feel like living the life as you are good, you are hospitable, you are devotional.
他说：“今天我现在过像你这种有爱心的、有贡献心的那种生活。”
Now this is the way how we are to conquer the hatred or enmity of others with our great, powerful love and peace.
我们先用这种力量来说服一些邪恶力和一些仇恨，我们就要用爱心来应付这些力量。
And it is not hard, it is not impossible, it is very easy.
这不是很困难的，这是很简单的。
If you develop your love and peace and devotion with your great source which is inside you, you will also become the best in your own self and will be able to change whole of the world.
如果你在内心在里面培养你的爱心，培养你的贡献心的话，你会可以应付世界上的任何问题。
And in the history of Buddha and so many of his followers, you would have also perhaps read some of these books that so many people came to them very much hard, very much offensive, but they did not react to them.
那好像是你们也看过一些关佛的那种书啊，知道说在佛在世的时候，他跟他的徒弟可以碰到一些强盗的这一类的人，但他们没有任何的反手。
And they remained in their own stability of love, humility, and goodness.
他们就在维持他们的爱心，维持他们的贡献心。
And the other persons who were hard and negative, they had to subdue and they had also to change to be humble and loving.
那种可怕的人，他们自然会改好。
But this is not possible from an ordinary person.
但一般普通的人不能做到这些事。
This is only possible from a person who is awakened, who is enlightened, and is having contact with the inner nirvana.
这些只是一些开悟以后的那种人，跟在内的那种力量有接触的人才能做得到的。
That our ocean of love and peace is so big ocean that any fire which is put into that is not effective upon us.
这我们的爱的海洋是很大的，所以任何的火到前面都被消灭了。
Rather, our water of peace and love will be able to change the attitude of the other ones.
而且我们的爱心能够影响另一方面的他们对象的那种他们的邪恶心。
And this power is there in all of us, which we have not been able to awaken.
我们在我们的内心已经有这种力量，但我们是因为还没看到它。
In the Bible, there are such like very also good such like commandments.
在圣经里有这种法则。
In Bible, some people were asking Lord Christ, what great commandment you have brought from your Father God.
在圣经里面有说到说，有些人问耶稣基督，你有没有向你父亲那边带来任何的法则？
Then it was told that love thy Father God with all thy soul, with all thy heart, with all thy mind. This is the first commandment.
那他的第一个法则就是用
All thy soul, all thy heart, all thy mind.
用你完全的爱、完全的内心去爱你的父亲。
And second commandment, love thy neighbor as thyself and love thy enemies.
那第二个就是像你的因为像你自己一样那样爱你自己一样那种力量去爱你的那个邻居，爱你的敌人。
Now the meaning of the words we can understand very well, but how to do it practically?
我们可以了解这些意思，但这是应该怎么做呢？
The first commandment is love thy Father God with all thy soul, with all thy heart, with all thy mind.
第一个是爱你的父亲，要用完全的爱，用完全的内心去爱你父亲。
Now, whom you love,
但你爱谁呢？
whom you find, and when you find all goodness, all nice things from that person, then automatically there is love.
如果你找到那个一个很美好的人，他是很好的，有很好的爱心，很好的内心，那时候你自然很简单的就会爱他。
As the child begins to love the mother, first mother is to love the child, serve the child, and then the child feels like loving also the mother and serving.
好像一个小孩子要爱他母亲之前，母亲要爱那个小孩，要为那个小孩服务，那时候小孩子才感觉到说对他母亲有爱心。
So first we are to find God, and then with his great reservoirs of love and affection and goodness and peace, then he will win our heart, our mind and our soul.
我们一开始要先找到神，神会利用他的那个爱的海洋去把我们的内心吸引过来。
And we will have to love the Father God with all our soul, with all our heart, with all our mind, because he will capture all our weak heart, weak soul, weak mind with great power.
因为那时候我们必须会尽力的去爱我们的父亲，因为他会用他很伟大的那种大的力量来吸引我们把我们的内心引过来。
As if a fish, when caught by the fisherman in a net, has no alternative just to die.
他要鱼被那个网抓到以后，他只好等死。
So all our negativity, all our hatred, all our vice will have to run away, will have to die, and we will have to accept the great love, great affection, the great goodness, and we will be taken by God.
好像是同样的，我们的邪恶力在我们里面的邪恶力量，但是碰到神的力量的时候，必须离开我们。那时候神就会带着我们走。
This is an automatic process. It is not artificial.
这是自动的步骤，这并不是人造出来的。
And then you will be able to go through the second commandment,
那时候你才会到第二个法界，
that love thy neighbor as thyself and love thy enemies.
而是爱你的邻居，爱你的敌人，像你爱自己一样。
That when you are filled with all powers and all oceans of love in you, then your neighbors will also feel controlled by your love and your peace, and they will begin to come to you.
Could you repeat it again, the first portion?
That the neighbors, you will love them, and they will have to feel your love.
当你爱你的敌人，爱你的邻居的时候，他们会受到你的爱的影响。
Because their hatred or indifference will be very weak, and our love will be very strong.
因为他们对你的那种敌人的感觉是很脆弱的，而且我们的爱是很强盛的。
In the same way, if there are our enemies, the enemies also have got very weak enmity, and our very strong love, affection will be able to overcome their enmity and they will also be loved by us.
我们的敌人对我们仇恨那种感觉是很脆弱，但我们的爱心是很强的，所以他必须我们爱心会把他们引过来。
As sometimes our children are also very much obstinate and they feel like rejecting us and go away from the home.
好像有的时候我们的小孩子对我们的态度很不好，要离开家。
But the parents deal with them lovingly, more lovingly, still lovingly, till they are able to overcome the hatred of the child and the child is accepting the love of the parents.
如果是父母亲是对他们很有爱的、很有耐心的那种爱他们的话，他们自然会被那个爱影响，而且会留下来。
This is the power which we have got in us, the power of love, the power of peace and power of giving everything to others and also enjoying for our own selves.
但是我们就有这种力量，它是爱的力量，和平的那种力量，就是为了我们，为了影响其他人。
This is what is meant by be ye perfect even as your Father who in heaven is perfect.
这就是像所说的那种跟人一样，跟神一样那么完美。
And also to find kingdom of God.
那是也是要说要找到神的领土。
And what is meant by enlightenment, or what is to find nirvana?
就是说开悟的意思，而且所达到那个天人合一的那种目标的意思。
And what is to find the holy Buddha lands?
这是怎么找到佛的领土的意思。
That we may become one with Buddha or one with God, that He is all light, all life, all glory, all beauty.
这意思说，我们可以跟神合在一起，他是辉煌的，有爱心的。
All love, all peace, all service.
一切美好的东西，一切对我们的服务，一切和平。
All knowledge, all wisdom, and to be enjoying in his own self this all perfection. And to enjoy, and then to enjoy all this and like God.
一切所有的智慧，那时候我们就欣赏，好像在神一样的在欣赏我们的美好的自己。
And then everyone who will be just available to us, near to us, will find all these blessings.
每个接近我们的人都会得到这种保佑。
And now you see that the sun is about 9 billion miles away from the earth.
你现在感觉太阳离我们是很远很远。
And we just go out, we do not feel like finding the light and heat of the sun.
我走出去的话，我不需要去找太阳的光、太阳的温暖。
But automatically the light and heat of sun is available to us even in our own rooms. If we go inside even, it is still following us and it is still available to us.
好像是我们到什么地方，它那个阳光，而且它的温暖的存在。那我们进我们的房间，它是跟着我们进去。
And if you even try to escape the light and heat of the sun, still you will not really be able to escape from it.
如果我们想逃避这种阳光，逃避阳光它的温暖的话，我们也是没办法的。
Some of it will still be available.
一点点还是看得到。
Because sun has got great power of light and heat to reach you.
因为太阳有很大的一个光，而且温暖的那种力量。
In the same way, we will be filled by God, all these powers, all this goodness, all this love, so great, so wonderful that everybody who will just have little thought of us or have little look at us or living anywhere in this world will be blessed, will be affected.
好像神的力量，同样的神的力量非常大。那时候我们跟神接触以后，任何人想到我们、看到我们，都会受到这种感觉，会受到保佑。
And all the world will be blessed, and we will not lose anything.
整个世界都会受到保佑，而且我们不用付出任何代价。
because the flower is blooming and fragrance is automatically going out of it. It is not really losing the fragrance, but it is its way of working to be fragrant and to emit fragrance.
好像一个花在里面长在那边，它的香味一直在出来，但它不会失去的，它也不会付出任何代价。
In this way, you will also be working like Buddha, like Lord Christ, because we are their followers and we have also got the same qualities and provisions as they had got.
因为我们是佛和耶稣基督那些信徒的话，那我们也会像他们一样。
But how could they find and why could not we find?
为什么他们能找得到这种力量，我们找不到呢？
It is very clear that we have not followed their way of life.
那很明显的是说，我们并没有照着他们一样做。
If we could not, let us do it now.
如果我们不能的话，为什么我们现在不开始像他们一样呢？
And it is very simple that you are not to disturb your outer physical life.
这很简单的，你不需要改变你在世的生活。
Just out of 24 hours of the day and night, you are to take out 2 hours or 3 hours and get connected with the inner holy links of God or Buddha power.
你一天24小时之中，你只要抽出2-3个小时来跟佛或神的那种力量接触。
This connection is established by that person who is already enlightened and already is enjoying nirvana.
这些之所以一般开悟以后的人，已经在享受天人合一的那种情况的人，才能帮你做到。
And he will connect you also with inner holy links of the light of God and that holy word sound of God.
他也会帮助你跟神的那种光，跟神的那种声音接触。
And you will begin to see and hear and work with your higher self, which is not body but which is beyond body.
那你就会用你超然性的你自我看到跟听到神的那种世界。
And as you will be practicing 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours daily, there will be regular progress in your lifestyle.
如果你一天在练习3-4个小时以后，你自然会感觉到你的在世的生活有改进。
And you will feel more settled in that higher self and less affected by this disturbing agencies.
你会感觉到说，在那种超然性的那种在那种地步的时候，你会感觉到更很美好，但你不会受到这些在世的那种干扰。
Till you really reach that final goal that you are perfect and one with Buddha or one with God.
到你达到那种目标为止，那个目标就是跟神合在一起。
It is not something strange. It is not something difficult.
这不是很陌生或很难的东西。
There had been and there are people who have realized it. Even I could find it.
这些已经很多人达到这种目标，而且这位大师也已经达成这种目标。
I was also connected with this inner enlightenment and with the inner holy sound, and it took about 10 years for me to accomplish this work.
他下了10年功夫以后，就跟内在的那种生理光接触过了。
And here, even in Taipei, in the last 2 days, more than 200 people have been connected, and they all could find the inner holy links.
前2天在台北已经有差不多200多个人已经受过这种接触。
And this connection is also to be given just after some minutes to all those who will ask for it.
等一下，如果有人需要那种接触的话，他会帮你们。
It is given all free, no charges.
这是免费的，不需要付出任何代价。
And there's no consideration of the lifestyle of the people. The people may be very hard, they might have been doing all wrong things, but the great merciful power is there to forgive you.
个人的生活方式是无所谓的，你可能是罪人，可能是做坏事的人，那是没关系的。
But further, you are to improve your life and help will be given to you by the God power, the Buddha power.
但以后就要改善自己的生活，那时候你的在内的自我那种力量会帮你改善。
That you are to reduce the negativities like telling lies or criticism or backbiting or to be unchaste or some other wrong things.
那只是要减少做坏事，好像是撒谎啊、批评别人啊。
But all this will improve gradually.
这是慢慢会改进。
As your mind will be cleaned, and the bad odor which is coming out of that dirt, that will also decrease.
当你的内心受到清洗以后，就好像是那个泥土一样，就自然的那种臭味减少。
And all these bad habits are only the outcome of the dirt of the mind.
一些坏的习惯只是泥土的那种臭味产生出来的。
However, you are to have a discipline that you are not to eat any kind of meat, fish, fowl, or eggs or chicken.
那时候你要有几个条件要照着做的，就是不要吃肉类的东西，蛋啊这一类的东西。
And also no intoxicating liquors or intoxicating drugs.
也不要使用酒啊或毒品。
Smoking is also not allowed.
也不要抽烟。
These things are already you know that these are poisonous and dangerous for our even physical body.
你已经知道对我们身体这些东西是有害的。
Mostly the incurable diseases like tumors or cancer or blood pressure or heart attacks are due to the meat eating.
好像我们所知道一些不能治的病，好像是癌症啊、一些心脏病啊、高血压，这些都是吃肉才产生的。
And the strongest living being in this world, elephant, is living on vegetarian food.
而且我们知道，在世界上最大力量的那种动物是大象，那它是吃素的。
So meat or eggs are not a source of any energy or power to our body, but these are negatively using our body.
我们蛋这一类跟肉类的东西，并不是给我们任何的好像身体的那种力量，但是只是说邪恶力在用我们的那种身体。
Really, we have to develop the God power inside us.
我们要培养神的力量在我们内心。
Buddha could not be great with his kingdom as a king.
释迦牟尼成佛之前，他不能因为当皇帝变成一个很伟大的人。
Or with his armies and his great other money or his powers, worldly powers.
不能是用他的钱财、他的士兵成为伟大的人。
But he could great and great, even now considered great due to his those inner godly powers.
虽然他放弃了一切，但到现在为止，还是认为是一个伟大的人，因为他有在内的那种神圣的力量。
This is really which you are to find and then to enjoy for eternity.
这是你所要找到，而且你可以永恒的享受它。
Then here in this world also you will have no sufferings, no worries, no problems, no diseases, no death.
到时在世界上没有任何的痛苦，没有任何的烦恼，没有任何的生病。
Because death is only for this physical body. We are not physical body. We are higher self.
因为死亡只是对我们的身体而言，但那时候我们这时候变成那种超然性的时候就没有死亡。
This higher self will be awakened in kingdom of God or Buddha lands, and you will be living with that, seeing and hearing without the outer eyes or ears.
当超然性的那种地步，我们在佛的领土那边醒来的话，那时候就我们不用我们在世的眼睛，不用在世的耳朵能听到能看到。
So you will be separated from the body, and you will enjoy your own higher self, and at other times you can again come into the body and work in this world for 20 hours or little more or less.
我们有一些时间可以离开我们在世的身体，而且在神的领土那边享受一段时间，再回其他时间再回到地上过我们普通的生活。
So life of the physical body will end after some time, but this our eternal life will remain at its highest state.
我们在世的身体过了一段时间可能会 不存在了。但我们呢在内的那种超能力的那种
So
力
this
量
is
会是永恒的。
this is the real way of life, which you will be able to start today, and help will be there.
这种是说我们要想达到那种目的，等一下他会帮你们。
I hope you will observe these disciplines and will like to have these holy practices also daily 2 or 3 hours.
他希望你们一天2、3天在那边练习，而且也不要吃肉类的东西。刚刚说的那几个条件。
Because these are only to bless us.
因为这是帮我们的。
Now I will request the dear ones, that those who are already initiated, already connected in the last 2 days, they should go in this portion, and those who are not yet initiated, they are to get this help, they should stay here.
如果前2天已经受过大师的传法的话，你可以坐他的右边。其他的人如果要想受他传法的话，可以留下来。
They should occupy 1st and 2nd and 4th, 6th, 8th and 10th rows.
他们可以坐前面第1排。可不可以往前面坐一点，好不好？那边的。
没有关系，坐前面一点，听得比较清楚。谢谢。
My dear sisters and brothers, I am pleased to be among you, the dear holy ones.
亲爱的姐妹弟兄们，我很高兴在你们之间，你们每一个人是神圣的。
This is for your information, which is truth, that we are not only having this dirty body.
我们不只是有这个身体而已，这是事实的。
If we only feel like that we are bodies, it's not something we can be proud of it.
如果我们觉得我们只是这个身体的话，这没有什么好骄傲的。
That body is made of flesh, blood and bones.
这个身体是血、肌肉跟骨头造成的。
No doubt there is a little covering over it which looks little better, but if we remove the covering, inside it is all dirty.
我们有一个皮肤把我们包起来，看起来好像比较好看一点。如果我们把那些皮肤拿掉的话，里面看起来好像很肮脏的感觉。
And body becomes dirty of itself. Daily we have to wash. If we do not wash our clothes or wash our body, it will become really horrible.
如果我们每天在里面洗澡的话，我们每个人会觉得很肮脏。
But inside us there is really wonderful self.
那内在我们真的是完美的。
And that is our own self.
那就是真正的我们。
As this garment is not myself, I am having this garment.
好像这件衣服不属于我，不是我的一部分，它只是属于我的。
In this body is kept by us. We are not bodies.
其实我们这个身体是属于我们的，但我们不属于这个，我们不是这个身体而已。
In daily life also we say that this is my head, this is my arm, this is my legs, and this is my body.
平常我们说这是我的头、我的手、我的脚，这是我的身体。
Then where am I?
那我在哪里呢？
Who says this is my body?
谁在讲说这个是我的身体？
So if it is my body, it is not that I am body, I am keeping the body.
这边说我不是身体，我有拥有这个身体的权利。
That self has not been explored. It is there, which is all consciousness and all activity and all power.
一切的力量是在里面，只是我们不懂。
Otherwise, the body is inert material, a lifeless machinery.
不然的话，这个身体只是一些没有生命的机器一样。
It is like a car. As long as the driver is working on this working seat, the car is running, but due to the driver only.
我们身体它好像一个汽车一样，如果一个司机在开这个汽车的时候，汽车就会那边动。
But if the driver is away, then the car is no more to work as car. It is only some collection of material.
那如果那个司机离开了这个汽车以后，这个汽车不会动，只是好像在一些机器的集合一样。
And daily we experience such like condition of our body.
每天我们有这种经验。
that during the day we as spirit take our seat here at the third eye center.
我们的灵魂在白天的时候就在我们智慧眼那边，
And then extend all its life currents in the physical body, and we get work out of the eyes, out of the ears, out of the legs and arms.
那个我们的灵魂就控制了我们这个身体，但是我们也能够控制我们的手脚、我的眼睛、我的其他的部分。
But in the end of the day, when we feel exhausted, then we withdraw ourselves from this working seat and go to the navel plexus for taking rest.
在晚上的时候，我们就离开了这个身体，在别的地方在休息。
And then is the time of sleep.
那时候就是睡觉的时候。
Now the eyes are in working order, and legs, arms, everything is in working order, but nothing works.
我们的眼睛、手脚当然是还是很好的，但那边没有任何的动作在。
Because we who were using the body, who were working in the body, is now passive, is now sleeping, is now taking rest.
因为使用这个身体的我们现在在那边休息。
And therefore body has got no consciousness, no activity, no life.
所以这个身体没有任何的活动，任何的生命。
And for 3-4 hours it is lying just like a dead body.
3-4个小时，我们就像一个死人一样在那边。
However, after taking rest for 3 hours, 4 hours or 5 hours, we as spirit then come up and again take up the working of the physical body.
但过了4-5个小时以后，那个灵魂又醒来，我们又有了这个身体的控制。
But we look at the watch and it is 4 early in the morning, and then we feel like it is too early.
那时候我们一看手表，觉得还是太早了一点。
And we again close our eyes and have the blanket and do not offer our body for the working of our spirit.
但是我又把眼睛闭上，这个身体还不交给这个灵魂来控制。
And then the soul, we the spirit, take up the astral body and begin to work with astral body in astral regions.
那时候我们的灵魂又变成那种好像灵化身一样，在别的地方那边。
And there we find some kind of good dream or hard dream, because that is called a dreamy state.
那时候我们就有一点好的梦或坏的梦的经验。
But we as soul are working, are talking, are walking and doing, laughing, crying, as we had been working in this world with the physical body.
那时候就像我们在世的这个身体一样，灵魂也是在那个灵化界那边笑啊、玩啊，或一些哭啊，做任何的痛苦的事啊，一切。
And after about 10 or 15 minutes, when the dream is broken, again we are at our working seat of this body.
过了10分钟或15分钟，我们又那个灵魂又再回来我们身体里面。
And then we say that I have got such a good dream or bad dream.
那我们就说我刚刚有一个好梦或一些坏梦。
Now body had not gone anywhere, body was lying on the bed.
其实我们身体没有离开这个地方，我们还是在床上。
But who is saying that I have got such a good or bad dream?
那谁在说我有一个好梦或一个坏梦？
It is the same one who has gone through that state of dream, maybe hard or maybe easy.
就是有那个人已经看过一些东西，觉得是好或是坏。
And that is our spirit, our soul, which is now in the physical body, but talking through the physical body.
那就是我们的灵魂，现在灵魂在用我们的身体，用我们的嘴巴在那边讲话。
So that is the real one, our own self, which was in the dream and which is now in the physical body.
那才是真正的我们。刚刚在那边做梦的时候，也是真正的我们。现在又回到我们身体里面。
So for some time we could work with the astral body without the physical body, and again we begin to work in the physical body.
一段时间，我们可能是在灵化身的那种界面那种地步那边生存，等一下又回了这个身体里面。
At the time of death also you would have found so many people saying that please forgive me any of my hard actions to you, and I am going.
常常有人快面临死亡的时候会说，请赦免我的罪，因为我现在要离开了。
But the body who is speaking I am going is still with us, and we dispose it of here.
但说我要离开的那个身体还在这个世界上，以后我们把那个尸体处理掉。
But who has gone?
但谁是离开了呢？
you very well feel that when the indweller has gone, then the body is just dead, then body is to die, but we are to leave the body, we do not die.
我们知道离开了就是那个灵魂，这个身体必须面临死亡，但我们的灵魂不需要面临任何的死亡。
And then we also begin to say that this is only the dead body or just made of earth, and he has gone.
那我们就会说，这个只是一个尸体，他真正的人离开了。
And that is ourself, which is to be taken to the judge for judgment, and we are put into the heavens or hells according to our karmas, actions.
灵魂才是真正的我们，那个离开这个身体以后，还要被一些法官受那个审判。以后我们可能是上天或下地，看我们在世界上做的因果，看好还是坏。
And we may again be given the physical body, and then we have to pay our karmas which we had done in the past lives.
那时候我们就可能回到这个世界上，像人一样的再出生。那时候我们就为我们的因果负责。
So it is very clear that we are not bodies. Body we have found sometimes back.
很明显的，我们不是身体，因为身体我们早就知道了。
But we were existing before the body, even we are existing along with the body, and will also exist after the body.
没有我们这个身体之前，我们也存在。现在我们处在这个身体里面，当这个身体不存在以后，我们还是存在。
We are eternal. There is no birth for us, no death for us. It is only that we go on changing the places or changing the bodies.
我没有任何的出生，没有任何的死亡，我们只是在那边换身体而已。
Our that self is really glorious self, wonderful self, holy self.
真正的我们才是美好的，才是辉煌的，才是完美的。
But even if a jewel is put into the mud or dirt, it will all be smeared, covered with mud or dirt.
好像把一个珠宝丢在泥土里面，它被泥土包围了，
And nobody will like it.
没有人会喜欢它。
If anybody looks at it, we'll have to bypass if it is lying in the way, or we will close our nose for bad odor coming out of it.
如果它在我们路上的话，我们可能会绕一些，不会踏过它，可能会把鼻子盖起来，因为很臭。
This is our condition now, that we are Buddha, we are holiest, we are the most wonder, but we have been put in closures of this physical body and some other bodies.
就像我们一样，我们是每个人是佛一样的，这么好，这么神圣。可是我们在这个身体里面，被这个包围了。
And the mind has been also put in with us, which is always subject to every kind of sins and negativities.
好像我们也有这个脑袋，那我们脑袋一直在受到那个邪恶的力量的影响，所以想到一些坏的东西。
And we have gone so low, so down in our life that really we have become horrible.
我们在这个世界上已经降级降得很低了。
There are some people you know that they are in prisons, they are even sentenced to death, that the government or people feel like that they should not live in this world because they will create so much horrible situation for others.
好像很多人在监狱里一样，还有一些人被判死刑，因为每个人觉得说，如果他还在继续活在这世界上的话，对这世界没有好处。
So there are thieves, there are robbers, there are killers, there are gamblers.
好像也是有贼啊、杀人犯啊、赌博的。
But what is that?
那些是什么？
If we little analyze the situation, then there is something very different.
但如果我们分析那个情况的话，那是很不同的。
That what is bad, what is thief, what is dacoit, what is robber, that is only mind.
那是什么？那个杀人犯这些是什么？只是那个脑袋而已。
And mind is using our body, and we are suffering in this way.
那个脑袋控制了我们这个身体，所以我们在那边受苦。
But that pure self, holy self, Buddha self is still there, and it is still holy and still pure, still like Buddha.
但神圣的我们、完美的我们还是在里面，里面还是神圣，还是完美的。
And this our own self is to be taken out and hand over to Buddha so that we are not controlled by mind,
我们
but,
必须
but we are controlled by Buddha, and we are not to become dirty and we are to be cleaned.
我们必须把神圣的我们交还给佛在那边，那时候我们才不会变坏，或受到一些邪恶的力量的影响。
Now what action is started when a master initiates that he takes your Buddha self out of the control of the mind.
当大师帮人传法的时候，他把一个人脱离了他的脑袋的控制，
And gives you contact with your holy Buddha or holy God in his holy and pure lands.
帮你跟神的领土有了这种接触。
And then you are being purified, and your mind is also being purified so that it is no more dirty.
那时候他也帮你清洗了你的内心，也清洗了你的脑袋，那时候你就不会像一般的肮脏一样。
And then gradually, maybe in 2 years, in 5 years or 10 years, the mind is really cleaned with the cleaning process which is conducted by our great Lord Buddha.
大概过了5年或10年，那时候我们的脑袋、我们的内心变成完全干净的，受到佛的影响。
Then there will be no dacoit, no robber, no thief, no killer, no gambler.
那时候这边不会有一些贼啊、一些小偷啊、一些杀人犯，完全没有。
Because the mind which was having such like all negative habits now is controlled by great Buddha power, and it is also now all clean, all pure.
受到一些邪恶的力量的脑袋，所以一切坏的想法，现在受到佛的控制的话，那一切坏的想法、一些邪恶的力量影响都没有。
So it means that a person who is in our thoughts, a killer or a gambler or thief or robber, is nothing like that.
其实我们想说一个人是坏人，或他是一个杀人犯什么东西，其实他并不是这个样子的。
His own self, pure self, holy self is the same.
他神圣的他是一样的。
It is only that the mind which is dirty, which is a robber, which is thief, which is every kind of sinner, is to be cleaned, is to be purified and changed.
其实只是那个脑袋才是杀人犯，是小偷，是控制了那个人的身体。我们必须清洗那个脑袋。
So, as I have given the example that jewel, which is now looking like dirt or mud, is still jewel inside it.
像刚刚那个珠宝的例子，其实外面被那个泥土包围了，其实里面还是真正的珠宝。
And if we wash out the dirt and mud from the jewel, it will again come out as a very, very valuable jewel.
当我们把那个泥土洗掉以后，那个还是很贵重的珠宝。
So all we are the highest, most clean and most holy, and just like Buddha, he is ocean and we are his holy drop.
其实每一个人都是神圣完美的，就像佛一样，但佛就是像一个海洋一样，我们只是一点水。
And this process that we may be taken out of the coverings of the mind and the body, and after having been cleaned to some extent at least, that we may be accepted into the Buddha lands, that this process is really needed for us.
只是大师要帮我们做的是帮我们清洗一点我们的内心，以后我们够资格了，可以进入佛的领土那边受到更多的清洗。
Because you very well understand that if that jewel remains covered with mud and dirt and nobody washes it, it will have no value.
但如果那个珠宝是刚刚说的那个珠宝没有被人发现或被人清洗的话，它没有任何的价值。
It will always be dealt like mud or dirt.
那他的一生都会像泥土一样在那边。
Everybody will dislike it and everybody will feel like throwing it away into some garbage.
没有一个人会喜欢它，每一个人看到它都是说想把它丢到垃圾桶里面去。
May it be ions and ions or millions of years, there will be no change in its fate.
可能是过100万年以后，它的宿命还是一样的。
Till that mud or dirt is washed and that jewel comes up in the shape of jewel, then only we will be able to accept it.
那个珠宝必须把它清洗以后，那时候我们才能接受它。
And then it really be very, very costly. Everybody will like it. Everybody will find its glory, its beauty.
那时候它才是真正有价值的，每个人都会在那边欣赏它。
In the same way, if we remain dirty with our dirty mind, may it be millions of years, if we do not purify ourselves or purify the mind, we will never be accepted by Buddha because he is holy, he is pure.
同样的，如果我们不清洗我们的内心的话，我们就像那个珠宝一样，过了100万年以后，还是进不了佛的领土。
And also we will not be accepted in his holy lands because those are very holy, very pure lands.
佛也不会接受我们。
So a king will only wear some clean garment. The dirty will not be acceptable even to the poor persons.
好像一个人平常都穿衣服也是要穿好的干净的衣服，他没有人喜欢穿很肮脏的衣服。
So that is the reason that even in this world, which is very low and very dirty, even in this world we are not acceptable.
但如果我们现在很肮脏的话，这世界上都没有人要接受我们。
Because there are some people who are better than us, more pure than us, and we are more ugly, and those who are more dirty, they are still discarded by who are better than us.
因为有些人比我们好，比我们干净，所以比他们肮脏的人，他们根本不喜欢接近。
Always when we find a friend or a relative, we compare. This is a good friend. This is not a good friend.
如果有我们很多朋友的话，那时候我们就在那边比较，说这个是好朋友，那个是坏朋友。
What is not good and what is good, it is a condition of our mind.
那什么是好的，什么是坏的，这是全部都是靠我们脑袋所创造出来的。
So we suffer here and everywhere dirty mind.
所以我们在这边，在任何地方，就是因为有了这种肮脏的头脑在那边受苦。
But you know that Lord Buddha, he was very fine in outer body, in outer clothing, and in nice palaces.
像佛曾经，他穿很美好的衣服，很漂亮的衣服，住很漂亮的房子。
And he was a king and had great authority in his kingdom.
他曾经是一个王子，他有很大的权力。
But he was not acceptable as much as he could be acceptable after he had cleaned himself and became Buddha.
但他还是进不了佛的领土。但他以后清洗了他自己的内心，成佛了以后，他才能进佛的领土。
At that time he had got no kingdom, no palaces, no very beautiful outer life.
那一段时间他没有皇宫，也没有很漂亮的衣服。
And was no more a king, he was just an ordinary person in a physical world.
他那时候他也没有王子的地位，他只是在这世界上一个普通的人。
Because he had purified his mind fully and his own self, soul, spirit was fully awakened in Buddha and at the highest enlightenment.
因为是他完全的清洁了他的脑筋，所以他能够在佛的领土那边出生。
And that is why that millions of the people did accept him even all over the world.
所以世界上百万个人都在那边接受他。
And now if we have some respect or some consideration of Lord Buddha, it is not that he was having a very beautiful body or he had got very good kingdom or he was a great king. We do not consider any of these things.
但如果我们现在还在那边尊重佛的话，并不是说尊重他以前是一个皇帝，以前一个很漂亮的衣服啊，或一个伟大的国土。
We only consider his holiness, his purity, his wonderful soul in very, very pure or fully pure cleans the mind.
我们所在那边尊重的，就是神圣的他，完美的他。
And due to that clean mind and all clean spirit, then he was acceptable in the highest state of the holy lands and Buddha's self.
因为他有一个很干净的内心跟脑袋，所以他能够被接受在上帝的领土里面。
And then he was fully satisfied that now I am never to suffer, no worry, no problems, no diseases, no death.
那时候他在那边是完全的满足的，说现在没有任何的痛苦、病痛或一些死亡。
And also was very happy that he had been able to help millions of the people to find that connection and to be purified, and they will also follow him over there where he will be himself.
他也很高兴能够帮上百万以上的人，帮他们做一些跟神的国土的接触。那时候他们才可以跟着他一起上神的国土。
So don't feel hard if you find that there are some people more rich than you and more intelligent and having better physical life.
如果你看到别人比你富有的话，或比你聪明的话，你心里不要觉得很不舒服。
Or they are presidents, or they are kings, or they are landlords.
或许他们是地主，或许是一个皇帝，或许是总统。
Or they are big doctors, big engineers, or great scientists.
或许他们是医生，或科学家，或一些工程师。
If these things would have any credit, then Lord Buddha would not have given it up.
如果这是跟佛的领土有关的话，那这样的话，佛以前根本就进不了佛的领土。
So Buddha did not become great, glorious with worldly glory.
他变成神圣，并不是因为他在世界上就有神圣的这种。
And this inner glory which he could find, everybody of you have already got it.
其实他所找到的神圣的他，每一个人都有。
The only thing is that you are to open the eyes and you will see.
其实我们只要把眼睛张开，我们就找得到。
If I close the eyes, I find nothing.
如果我现在把眼睛闭上，我什么都看不到。
Now I am talking of the inner eye of our holy self.
现在讲的是内在的我们内心的眼睛。
That your inner self which is put into a closet, into dark closet, nothing it can find.
好像我们被关在衣橱里面一样，什么都找不到。
But this is the work of the Master, that he will open the closet of the mind and will bring your spirit self at the third eye center.
一些大师的任务就是把这个衣橱的门打开，把我们带入我们的智慧眼。
After releasing you of all the bondages and the burdens of the karmas which we had done in the previous life and even in this life.
帮我们脱离了一些我们的因果的那种痛苦。
And he will also purify us sufficiently that we are admitted into the holy Buddha lands, at least lowest links, and we may be able to see something and to find something what is there.
帮我们清洗了我们内心，至少我们可以进入佛的领土的最低一级。那时候我们可以看到一些声音，看到一些光，听到一些声音。
As there is light in the outside world of the sun, and we can see something in the sunlight, in a similar way there is the light of Buddha inside, and in that light we will see something in the holy Buddha lands.
像这个世界有太阳，我们用这个太阳的光，我们可以看到这世界上一切。同样的，在佛的领土里面有太阳，但是我们可以用那个太阳也看到佛的领土里面的一切。
And it is not that you will have to go through very long, very hard disciplines and practices, but it is a blessing from our great Lord that we will find it just now today.
这并不是是一个很长而且很苦练的那种，以后才能达到那个目标。其实这种是神的保佑，等一下我们就可以找到。
As I have told you, that everything is already there in us. We are not to bring or we are not to pay for it.
其实大师刚刚说的，我们所要的一切都在我们体内，我们并不是要付出任何的代价。
But we cannot and we could not come out of this closet prison and we could not find ourselves in our wonderful home.
但我们是刚刚还是离不开那个遗嘱，所以我们还是找不到。
Because a person who has fallen into a well cannot come out by itself.
所以一个人如果掉入一个很深的洞里面，他自己爬不出来。
A person who is already outside the well can help that person who is in the well and can take it out.
当一个人还在那个洞的外面的话，才能够帮那个人爬上来。
So those who are already closed in this dark closet cannot come out of it.
所以一个人被关在这个衣橱里面，自己走不出来。
But the one who is already out of this closet and already is enjoying the Buddha lands and having every arrangement also will be able to take you out from the darkness and will show you your own house which is all light.
当一个人已经离开了这个衣橱的话，那个人在外面才能够帮你把衣橱的门打开，救你出来，带你进去你的房子里面。
And to begin with, you will find some light, some sound, and some things of this Buddha land. The very first day, just tonight, as it is arranged.
一开始的话，你就会听得到一些声音，看得到一些光，这些光跟声音都是活在泥土里面的。
And don't worry if you are having some sins or you have done something hard actions in your life. After today or after now, what you have done, anything hard, that will be forgiven by our merciful and forgiveful Father.
其实不需要在那边担心说你以前是过了怎么样的生活，不管你是好还是坏，或是一些做了很多犯了很多罪的人，但仁慈的上帝会原谅我们。
And this holy connection is to be served to you just all free in the name of the holy great Lord and in loving service to you.
这些一些接触是免费的，这位大使是奉神的名字在这边帮你们。
And further, you are to continue these holy practices, what we may say, that 2 hours or 3 hours daily we are to attend our inner holy connections.
但希望你们一天大概2-3个小时在那边维持这种接触。
And it is not hard. 21 hours or 20 hours, it is sufficient for us to go along with our worldly life.
其实这并不是很难的，其他20个小时或21个小时，我们可以维持我们在世的生活。
You are not to leave your family, you are not to leave your jobs or businesses, you are not to leave your homes.
我们并不需要放弃我们的家庭或我们的工作。
There is no change of religion. I am not creating new religion. I am perfecting you in the same religion as you are having now.
你并不需要改变你的宗教，它只是帮你更了解你自己的宗教。
And this further purity that is to be done by our loving Father with His own arrangements, because we cannot purify even ourselves.
更进一步的内心的清洗的话，那就是神的任务了。因为我们自己都清洗不了我们自己的内心。
The child cannot clean himself, only it is the mother who is to clean the child.
他这个小孩子自己不能自己帮自己洗澡，只是母亲要帮他洗澡。
However, some things which add to our dirtiness very much, those you shall have to stop further.
但是自己加上自己放在自己上的那种肮脏的东西的话，那我们可以避免。
That there are mainly 3 disciplines, you may tell.
最重要有3个条件，就是说不要吃任何肉类的东西，包括蛋。第二个就是不要喝酒或使用毒品，还有不要抽烟。
And after having this holy connection, try to decrease your sinning life and try to improve your moral and social life.
有了这种接触以后，尽量的改善我们的生活方式，尽量的少做这些坏事。
No, that is as best as possible as you can.
但是尽量在那边。
And as I have told you, the further cleaning is to be done by your Father who can and who has got all powers with him.
像刚才说的，进一步的清洗内心，必须要靠神。
Because we are to become Buddha, we are to become the highest and holiest.
因为每一个人都必须要成佛。
There is nothing more pure There is nothing more holy than we are to become.
其实我们所要变成的，要成佛的那种地步，没有任何东西比那个更神圣、更完美。
Until we do not become the same highest holy and fully purified, we will not find our that final place, and we will not be able to then enjoy our wonderful life.
如果我们自己不神圣或不完美的话，那时候我们也找不到那种神圣完美的生活。
But these little disciplines which I have told to you from your side, it is very little. 99% all this work will be done by your holy great Father. But you have to devote about 3 hours or little more or less time daily in connection with him, so that he may be able to work upon us.
但其实刚刚说的那几个条件并不是很难的，还有其他的就是99%都会神在那边帮我们，还有1%我们所要做的就是在每一天大概要贡献3个小时给神，维持那种神圣的接触。
So I think some of you have already got this connection in yesterday or today even, but there are some people for whom it is offered now, and they can enjoy it. And further, they will be all under the care of great power Buddha when we will find his connection inside us.
已经有人说过他传法，但今天的话，如果要传法的，等下可以留下来。
Now, if there is any person